Hi everybody, my name is Monica Main, and here's a picture of me and my daughter traveling all around the world thanks to this amazing business. In fact, in this presentation, I'm going to share with you exactly how you're going to be able to utilize this business to make more money per year than your doctor, dentist, and lawyer if you stick with the blueprint. And when you stay till the end, you're going to be able to get all of these bonuses in your email inbox, including the double-pronged income secret, which includes how you can make quick money as well as long-term income as you build this business, which I'm going to be talking about what the business is in this presentation. You're also going to get the $150K per month blueprint step-by-step and exactly how I was able to go from zero to $150,000 per month. And I will share with you exactly what the steps were that I used. And finally, you're going to get the 4-step business building one-sheet flow chart, which you can literally print out and you can stick up right next to your computer so that you'll always know exactly what the steps are that you need to be able to make money with this business, all right? And finally, I have one more special bonus that I did not list there. In fact, it's so powerful and amazing that I just didn't want to list it, but it actually eclipses all of the bonuses that you see before you. So make sure that you check your email inbox about an hour after this presentation ends, all right? So let's get with it. Because in this training, I'm going to share with you exactly how I was able to create a profitable side hustle with these 2 free apps without complicated tech skills, without expensive startup costs, and without spending a lot of time building and managing the business. So you're probably wondering, what are these 2 free apps? And the answer is Amazon Kindle and Audible, which I know you probably heard of. It's probably already on your smartphone or your tablet right now. And I'm going to share with you exactly how you could use these 2 apps that are owned by Amazon to potentially make huge profits if you know what you're doing and if you know how to follow some very simple steps. So making money with these 2 apps has nothing to do with building websites, finding products to sell, finding suppliers, usually overseas, buying pallets or truckloads of inventory and then figuring out where to store it all, or shipping or customer service or returns or refunds. Like, none of that stuff are you going to have to deal with like you would with any other typical business, especially an Amazon business. So even better, I could show you how to automate your entire digital business with the power of AI. In fact, Amazon has put in $4 billion to develop their AI-based software. And so this is going to do nothing but benefit you as a digital publishing entrepreneur when it comes to publishing on Amazon. In fact, AI is something that even my dad is able to use to be able to earn side income in his retirement. He's only published 2 books, yet he's been able to make a consistent monthly income. And so if he can do it, you can definitely do it, because he has literally no experience with anything that has to do with AI. In fact, he finds tech stuff to be a little overwhelming, and he himself has been able to use these AI-based software programs to be able to generate the digital content needed to be successful with his own Amazon publishing business. Or you can take Chris. He was tired of being what he calls out inflation, and so he needed to make some extra income to keep himself afloat. So he averages about $1,400 per month with his 3 books that he has so far. Or Jessie, she's a part-time real estate agent. She also wanted to try this powerful digital Amazon side hustle, and she ended up hitting her first over $12,000 month within 9 months of starting. And so, as you know, your income results may vary, but this is definitely possible if you're willing to follow a plan, you're willing to be very consistent and disciplined with that plan, and then the sky's the limit as far as how much you could potentially earn with this. So yes, you can make money with Amazon Kindle and Audible without writing any books. Yes, that's correct. You don't actually have to sit there like a writer and write anything, because you could use these AI-based software programs as well as other options to use professionals like ghostwriters to be able to help you write these books for you. You don't have to design any book covers. You don't have to deal with publishers or publishing companies. You can do all of these things within the Amazon Kindle and Audible system. So Heather, she was finally able to take her dream trip to Italy after struggling to make ends meet for so many years. She's finally making her dreams a reality with her Amazon digital business. And so this is what she's making on her 9 books so far. And this was probably her top month that she's made so far. So over 300 of our students are actively earning income with our system, working less than an hour a day, and they're people that are no different than you. Men and women all around the world are able to actually make really good solid incomes with this business. But I will warn you, this is not a get rich quick overnight scheme. This is not something that you just snap your fingers and then next week you're going to be able to make tens of thousands of dollars a month. It does take some discipline, commitment, and some time to be able to build your business. It takes usually 2, 3, 4 months just to start getting rolling. So if you're looking for some shiny object syndrome, some get rich quick overnight scheme, this is not it. In fact, I've been in the world of entrepreneurship for 30 years, and I can tell you that there is no such scheme. It does always take time, effort, and energy to build a highly profitable business that's a real business, all right? So this is what this is. It's a real business where there's real people just like you and me making lots of money in this business by following a simple set of steps, all right? So take a look at Kimberly and Scott. They're killing it with their little business. It took them about 18 months to get to this point, but you want to check this number out. This is their highest month so far. And this is pretty amazing because they're very consistent. They were retirees, but they were finding that Social Security and Scott's pension were just not cutting it. So they needed some more money. And they only came into this intending to make an extra few $100s a month just to be able to cover their extra insurance costs. And they ended up killing it. They just got so, I guess, enamored with the whole process and so excited about just the possibilities with how much people were making that they decided to go all in, and now here they are 18 months later doing these kinds of numbers, all right? So this allows you to live your best life now by creating automated income where you can start earning income fast, and even if you don't have a lot of time on your schedule, you could definitely get started with this business. So are you absolutely ready to get started with this? Because I have a lot of stuff to share with you on exactly how to start the process of building this business, and you have to be ready. So hopefully you have your game face on. Hopefully you're 100% focused, because you're definitely going to want to follow everything that I'm talking about so that you can fully understand exactly how this business works. All right, so let's get started. Let's jump right in. So you're probably wondering, Monica, why are you sharing this? If this is such a powerful business where a lot of people are making this kind of money, including yourself, why would you bother sharing this information? And the answer is this. I realized that 72% of employees out there are stressed about finances. They're stressed about the future. They're stressed about the economy. They don't know what to expect with the economy. They're thinking that the economy is going to take a nosedive, and they want to be prepared. And so I just thought, well, how selfish would it be me seeing all of these people around that are struggling, some people that are older that are struggling to make their prescription drug medication costs every single month, people that are struggling with the higher inflation, the higher utility bills, higher food bills. Like, how greedy would it be for me to just hog this all for myself, knowing that I have a plan that's made me $150,000 per month consistently, and there's people struggling. Like how selfish is that? So that's why I decided to bring this to everybody, because there are so few viable income opportunities out there that are legitimate. And let's just face it, like, what would you have to do to be able to keep up with hyperinflation as the months and years roll on? Think about that. Be real with yourself. Like, if you're already barely hanging on as is, if you're already deep in debt right now, and maybe you already have a second job, or you're thinking about getting a second job, even the second job is not going to help you in the long haul, because it's just going to make you more tired. It's going to make you work more hours, and it's going to limit your opportunity in the future, because what's going to happen after that? Well, inflation is going to still keep going up, folks. I hate to break it to you. And then what? You got to get a third job? Do you even have that much time in your schedule, that much energy to be able to pull that off? So now is a really good time for you to nip it in the bud and think ahead before it gets really bad, because I think it's happening. Things are going to start falling off a cliff really, really soon. And there are not a lot of opportunities that will allow you to be able to make enough money to sustain your current household, let alone having a little extra to be able to do the things you've always wanted to do. Like, maybe you want to take up golfing, or maybe you want to travel. And you're not going to be able to do any of that if you're staying on the current trajectory of the treadmill of working for somebody, or trying to stretch as far as you have been. Because I had to tell you, those days are coming to an end, quite honestly. And so you're probably wondering, okay, well, things are getting worse. It's harder and harder to be able to sustain my household. Like, what do we do? Well, the answer is to find an opportunity, a business that's easy to operate, something that you could do in your part-time, so that not only can you make shorter income goals, but you could also be able to build a sustainable long-term business that just keeps snowballing in producing larger and larger financial results for you every single month. So then that way you actually build a legit business, a full financial freedom business for yourself that will allow you to do the things that you've always wanted to do, as well as be able to sustain your current lifestyle, which is going to be harder and harder to do by taking on or keeping a job at this point. And so who am I and how can I change your life? I'm a single mom, and I realized that I had to find an easier way to solely support my daughter other than working the 60 to 80 hours per week that I was working. So I started this secret side hustle business shortly thereafter because I needed something that I wanted as a financial freedom business. I didn't want to work 60 to 80 hours a week anymore. I wanted a true freedom business. And going into the world of entrepreneurship, I always thought, hey, I'm going to have my own hours and I'm my own boss. But, I quickly found out that that was not the case. I was actually working harder for my own business, never shutting it off, never leaving the office at 5 o'clock, never not working on the weekends. Like, it was just constant. Even in the middle of the night, I was thinking about my business and work. And I just never shut it off. And so I knew I had to find a different kind of business that would allow me the lifestyle I always wanted. And so what I discovered was this business that I'm going to be sharing with you, but I considered it shameful because I was working in the investing space. And I didn't want to share with anybody what I was doing because this would just be completely 180 from what people knew me for. And so this is kind of the stuff that I would do, where I would do these seminars and I would do investing, and I still do a lot of real estate. And this is the kind of lifestyle I had. And so I couldn't really reveal to people what I was really doing on the side. And so that's when I kind of kept this a secret, because I had a hit show with PBS called The Main Way to Wealth. I had a best-selling book called The Lost Secret. And I didn't want to tell anybody that, I was doing this secret kind of embarrassing side hustle on the side. And so I was just really unhappy with the way things were going. I didn't like the life that I had. I was at a breakneck pace. My bestseller status for my book, The Lost Secret, was making like literally no money. And it was shocking to me because I'm like, how is it that I have this book that's doing really well financially? Rather, I should say, by the numbers as far as Amazon's concerned, but I'm literally getting no money. Part of the problem was that I had a bad publisher. The other part of the problem was that there's really no money in nonfiction. So I started a brand new kind of freedom business it's like literally nothing else like it on the planet. And I've run the gamut as far as any and all kinds of business opportunities you could possibly think of since I've been doing this for 30 years. And I've been into stock trading, commodity trading, Forex trading. I've done all the different kinds of trading with options. I've done real estate investing. I've had a variety of different businesses, from direct mail marketing to, obviously online marketing. And I have never found anything this good, this freedom-based, this absolutely amazing and profitable than the business that I'm going to be talking about in this presentation. So this was my very first Kindle book. It was kind of embarrassing. I wasn't sure if I was going to actually show it to you guys because it's just so cheesy, but it's actually still up. And it was my very first book that I had published on Amazon Kindle. And every year around the holidays, people still do buy this book. So I just keep it up there because it just reminds me of where I came from. It's published under my old married name. And so I just keep it there because it just kind of reminds me of where I started. But that's how long ago I started in the Amazon publishing game. But then it hit me that I had to do things a little differently. Like, for example, why would I just want to publish the one book? Like, it was like kind of like this moment, like, hello, McFly, like, why aren't you publishing, more books, but not only just publishing any books, you want to publish books that people really want to buy. So it kind of hit me one day, like, nobody wants the tofu turkey book except for a few people every holiday season. But for the most part, I need to find books that people are really interested in buying. And so that's kind of what started me on this plight of making this kind of money with this business. So you're probably wondering, well, what books are you talking about, Monica? Like, what's the business? What is the digital Amazon publishing business that you focus on? And the answer is writing erotica novels under a pen name. And in the very beginning, my first serious year doing this, so I actually started to get my head out of my butt around the end of 2019 when I decided, hey, I think I want to really focus on doing something with this Amazon digital publishing business. And then 2020 was actually my first serious year doing this. And so when I finally started to focus and get disciplined and, you know, be very consistent with my publishing efforts, only publishing books that were really popular, that were already making a lot of money for a lot of other writers slash publishers, I decided to only focus on those books and only emulate those books. And I immediately started to make some significant dollar amounts, which I'm going to share with you, kind of like what the progression looked like. But averaging out about 50,000 per month, my first serious year doing these kinds of erotica types of books. And so this is kind of the progression. My first serious year doing this, where I was able to start finally making some headway financially with these kinds of books, starting within my first 30 days. Now, as a disclaimer, I didn't start making this within my real first 30 days. Like I showed you my original book, the Tofu Turkey book, back in 2012. So it didn't start from that point. But what I'm talking about as far as starting within my first 30 days of me being serious about getting involved in this business, becoming disciplined, becoming consistent, that's what I'm talking about as far as within my first 30 days. And so I finally hit what's called the snowball effect, which happens to a lot of Amazon digital publishers who stay very consistent and who only publish books that are highly profitable and popular. And so then I started to hit the snowball effect at that point, where I was able to not only make some major traction with some of my older books, but also just kind of exploded with some of my newer books that I was putting up there. And so you'll hit the snowball effect too if you stay very consistent with your publishing efforts, all right? And so again, it's all started with my first 30 days, which I showed you back on the prior screen. So instead of working 60 to 80 hours per week, this new business was finally the freedom business that I was always looking for. This was the business that kind of what I thought entrepreneurship should be, was this business. And so, you know, my pipe dream of entrepreneurship back in the day was that, you know, you worked minimal hours, you picked your own hours, you were your own boss. And like I said, it turned out to be a 60 to 80 hour per week enterprise. And so this became the business that I always dreamed of. And like I mentioned before, I was able to travel all over the world with my daughter, and I still do. So we're actually about to take another trip to Italy, and I'm just really excited. We're also going to hit France as well, and it's just like we can go anywhere we want. So in a few minutes, my goal is to show you exactly how you can wildly profit as an Amazon author and publisher, even if you don't write, you don't want to write, you don't know how to write, the writing thing is just not your thing. I can share with you exactly how you can profit with this business. And if you like to write like I do, because I do write some of the stuff in my books, or I write parts of my books, or I outline some of my books. So if you are a writer, then this is definitely the business for you. In fact, you should never be even considering any other kind of business other than this business, because there is no other business that can make you this kind of money out there as a writer generally. So why the Amazon digital publishing business? Well, it's different than other businesses. It's because it has very low startup costs, very little competition. You have AI automation at your fingertips that you can use to help you create your books. And I need to let you know, though, what this business is not. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, like I mentioned. It's not a cookie-cutter, plug-and-play type of online business that are pretty much a dime a dozen. They're oversaturated out there, and they definitely do not work. This is not your next shiny object syndrome that you could try for a few weeks and drop out. If that's the kind of person you are, then do not even consider getting involved in this business, because this is a long-term play. This is a real business. I mean, think in terms of what you would have to do to start any other kind of legitimate real business. Like, say, for example, you were going to start an auto detailing business, right? And you bought a truck, and you bought a water tank, and you bought all the supplies, and then you started to buy flyers that you could start passing around to people in the neighborhood to start getting business. Can you imagine if you treated that auto detail business, a real business, like some fly-by-night, shiny object, get rich overnight type of scheme? You would be very disappointed, because you would try to work the business for 5 days, and all of a sudden you would drop out because you're not getting enough business. Well, any kind of real business out there is going to take time, effort, and energy, consistency, and discipline to be able to build. So if you know your personality is the type of person where if it's not happening like 2 seconds after you jump in, then this is not the business for you. In fact, I would caution you and say that there's really not going to be any business that's out there for you unless you just want to make it a career to play the lottery, and then maybe one day you'll hit it big that way. That would be pretty much the only way that you would be able to get rich overnight. Otherwise, any legitimate business is going to take time to build, including this, all right? So for those of you who understand those things, this is an opportunity to get fully set up in your entire business from scratch, but again, only if you are serious about this. So take Nicole. She was struggling with her typical online funnel business. She was actually losing money and going into debt, and finally hitting her stride with her digital Amazon publishing business after starting 8 months. And she's making on average about $7,000 per month. Now, please note, it took her 8 months to get there. So again, if you're looking for something to make money overnight, then this is not your thing, okay? Or you could take Shelly. She came from Starbucks. She was actually a coffee bistro girl, and she went quitting her job finally after 14 months. She just bought herself a used Mercedes with her profits, and over the course of the last 5 months with her 13 books, she's made just under $55,000. So she's doing pretty well. But again, it took her about a year to be able to make this business work really well for her. So again, consistency and discipline is the key. And if you don't have it, then this is not the business for you. So in your first 30 to 45 days after you publish your first book, I'll show you how you can bring in your first $500 to $1,000. Of course, that's not guaranteed, but it's definitely possible if you follow the steps, even if you have zero experience and you're totally new to this business. And I know that's a bold promise, so before I get into the details, I want to show you undeniable proof that all of this is real, and it's very much possible for you to be able to make this business work. So take a look at two authors. One's a no-name author that you probably never heard of versus a worldwide famous author. So Liz Tomford, she's not a household name at all. Most people have never heard about her, rather, and yet she made about $158,000 last month from this one book, which I'm going to share with you what the book is in a second. Now, there's Nora Roberts. A lot of people have heard of Nora Roberts. She's a household name in the romance writing world. She made about $37,000 with one of her top-selling novels on Amazon Kindle right now. And by the way, most of that money goes to the publishing house, not to Nora Roberts. She gets peanuts in equivalency to how much the book makes total. But it's pretty crazy. Now, you're probably going to wonder what are these books, and the answer is there's Liz Tomford's book on the left side. It's called The Right Move, $158,000. Or you take Nora Roberts' book, $36,000, almost $37,000. And so that goes to show you that you don't have to be a household name to make money in this business. In fact, if anything, Liz Tomford's making more money than Nora Roberts because Nora Roberts has to share the lion's share of her income with her publishing house. Liz Tomford is a self-published author, and she gets to keep the vast majority of the proceeds of each sale of her books. So it's obviously much better to be an Amazon digital publisher than it is to even go with a publishing company. So for example, if you're a writer, you'd have to go find an agent. You would have to then go, the agent would then go find a publishing house for you, and then you have to wait about a year to 18 months for your book to come out. And it just takes forever and ever to make any money. But if you were an Amazon digital publisher, you could literally throw up a book like pretty much today if you wanted to, if you had a book, and you could start profiting right away. So you want to compare also these other two authors. Again, one is a no-name and one is a worldwide famous author. There's Katharina Mora. She's not a household name at all. She made just around $273,000 with this one book last month. Or there's Danielle Steele. Everybody's heard of Danielle Steele. She's a household name in the romance world. She made only $27,000 with one of her top-selling Amazon Kindle novels right now. And I'm going to share with you what they are. So this is Katharina Mora's book, $273,000 on Kindle. And then there's Danielle Steele's book, $27,000 for this one book. And again, because she's with a major publisher, Danielle Steele's sharing the vast majority of those profits with the publishing house. She doesn't even get most of that money. It's pretty sad, actually. And so that's the cool thing about being a self-publisher is you can get upwards of 70% of your book sales. But if you're publishing with a publishing house, you're not going to get anywhere near that. So is this business and money possible for you? Absolutely it is. In fact, if you're a woman in particular, you don't have to be. Like if you're a guy, this still could work. But if you're a woman, there's literally no other business out there that I know of that's making more women wealthier, more women millionaires than this Amazon publishing opportunity, because it's absolutely crazy how much money a lot of these Amazon publishers are making right now. And you can be one of those. So if you're serious about creating a business that could provide you the lifestyle and freedom that you've always wanted, then this is the business for you. In fact, this should be the only business that you're considering right now. And I'm about to reveal to you exactly how you can launch your own 7-figure Amazon publishing business and earning $10,000 per month in record time. So here's a case study for you. Sarah accidentally stumbled on this publishing business model, and it's making her over $1 million per month like clockwork. That's cash in her pocket. She grosses over $2 million a month. So that's her grossing $2 million per month, writing very unique fantasy romances, and she lives in Philadelphia. Now, this is proof, and by the way, I'm going to share with you kind of how you can get this software to be able to find out what people are making. But actually, you can see right there, $2 million a month, and it's just with Amazon Kindle. It doesn't talk about Audible books or paperback or any of the other stuff. So if you don't believe me on any of these numbers, you could check out any of these authors and publishers by going to katiebestsellers.com. That's a forward link that I created for you to be able to get to the top 100 paid Amazon bestsellers. And then use the software that you can get at katiekeywordtool.com, and you can actually see what every single one of these publishers or these authors are making on their books. So here's another one, Elle Steele. Now, the reason I wanted to throw this in here is because the reviews are not so great. She actually rips off this one lady, Katharina Mora. I don't know if you remember the former screen that I showed you with one of her recent books, but this is basically a ripoff of Katharina's work and Katharina's book. You can see with the flowers and kind of like the way it's set up. And yet she basically is making a crap ton of money off of this ripoff book. In fact, everything that Elle Steele produces is a ripoff of some other emulated, highly profitable and highly popular book on Amazon Kindle. So you can just see for yourself what she's making just on this one ripoff title. $232,000 a month just on the Kindle part. You can see the little tabs at the bottom. Well, Kindle is the one that's pressed for this one. And so that's just for the Kindle. There's more money on top of that. And so if you take a look at her entire body of work, you'll see that she literally rips off everybody else's stuff, everybody else's tropes and themes, everybody else's covers, everybody else's like titles, everybody else's, you know, I guess feel and look. She has none of this is her own creativity, and yet she's able to make a freaking fortune essentially lifting everybody else's stuff. So I think her last name is quite fitting, Steele, because she literally just steals everybody else's ideas and books and, you know, tropes and themes and everything else. But it just goes to show you that you don't have to be that creative to be able to make a huge fortune in this business. She doesn't write anything. She uses a ghostwriter. And so, again, you don't have to be a writer. You don't have to be that creative to be able to do really well with this business, just as Elle Steele has. So it's just as simple as research, calculate, and emulate. And so we've kind of briefly covered the research and calculating, meaning that you're researching the books that are very popular and profitable using the very specialized software tool, and then calculating through the software tool exactly which kinds of books are making a lot of money. So then that way you know which ones to potentially emulate and which ones not to. So for example, if you find that there are certain books that you're doing research on, maybe mysteries or thrillers, for example, you're not really interested in romance, maybe you want to take a look to see if any mysteries are making any money. And you take a look and you use the software and you realize a lot of mysteries aren't making that much money. Then you can decide, do I want to do the mysteries, or do I want to maybe do romance, like romantic suspense, which is very, very profitable and popular. And so then that way you're kind of mixing mystery in with romance, which is, I would say, about 50% or more of the total fiction sales for books is your romance and erotica. So you want to stick with what's selling, right? So we briefly covered how to do the research and the calculation of your potential profit. Now let's talk about how we can use the power of AI to help you write your books. Okay, so this is fairly new. And so I'm going to walk you through it step by step. So step number 1 is to gather the best-selling tropes and themes by keywords from your Amazon bestseller research. So for example, a lot of the popular tropes have billionaire or multimillionaire in it. Also, small town is really popular. Marriage of convenience, for example, ex-best friend. A lot of these, like fake marriage, fake fiance, those are like your tropes and themes that you're going to notice is a common theme among some of the most popular and profitable Amazon Kindle romance books. So you just want to jot down, like, say, the top 10. And then what you want to do is choose between, like, say, 5 and 6, maybe 7. And what you're going to do is take those 5 to 7, and you're going to use ChatGPT, which is 100% free software, or something equivalent, to help you create a basic story overview. So you'll basically type in, for example, in ChatGPT in the prompt box, you'll say, create a romance story about a billionaire in a small town who will marry his best friend's ex-fiancée to inherit his fortune, right? Something like that, okay? Again, not a lot of creativity involved. And if you don't have any creativity, then you can just simply go back to these stories, kind of like Elle Steele does, where you basically go to any story that's doing really well and just kind of emulate what they already have, and then just have ChatGPT create something new and different out of that. So if you see on the right, on step 3, you'll see what ChatGPT was able to do. And the cool thing is, within seconds, ChatGPT will create a broad outline for your novel. This includes the book title, if you don't have any book title ideas, character names even, the setting, all kinds of different things the software will create. So I didn't put the name of the character in there, but this particular ChatGPT prompt was able to create this kind of overview of this new book, which gave the name Ethan Carter. So Ethan Carter obviously must be the billionaire, I guess, in this. And so he also named, let's see, the grandfather's fortune. So it came up with the grandfather's fortune. I didn't tell it in there to do the grandfather's fortune. I just said to inherit his fortune, and it's a grandfather. So ChatGPT came up with all of this stuff. It talks about Emma. Emma must be the heroine of the story. And so Maplewood must be the name of the small town. And she has a bakery that she needs to save, I guess, because maybe it's not doing well financially. So ChatGPT came up with this whole amazing story, even more creatively than I would have myself. So this is how powerful this software is. And again, it's 100% free. So step number 4, you want to plug your story into a proprietary novel writing AI software to flesh out each one of the chapters. So you'll copy and paste each one of those chapters that ChatGPT created, and you will have the help of this AI-based novel writing software that will create a short draft to work with for you to be able to use as a book, or you can start to flesh out each chapter bigger and bigger until you're able to actually get a book. Because most books are anywhere between 90 and 120,000 words in the romance category. Some of them go beyond 120,000 words, but that's a lot of words, right? And so you can create a short draft that you can ultimately expand, or you can take that short draft and have somebody like on Upwork, for example, or Fiverr to be able to expand out on it to make it really clean and tight. Or you could just keep working with the software until it creates and generates the entire book for you. Those are your options. The software cost is between $12 and $44 per month, depending on which option you choose. So it's very, very budget friendly. Then you want to hire an affordable professional like from Fiverr or Upwork to complete fleshing out your book. So despite what you're able to come up with your software, you're still going to want some more fluffing. You're going to want to make sure that there's gel in the book, because if you're just taking every chapter, for example, and you're trying to create a story from a ChatGPT series of chapters that were outlined for you, you don't know whether or not they're going to be cohesive. So you want to hire a professional to kind of finish off the book or flesh and fluff it out for you. So then that way you want to make sure that the characters are cohesive, the storyline's cohesive, like everything kind of fits. So it's almost like creating a polish, kind of a polish, if you will, of your book. And so a professional, basically a human being, is going to have to do it. So it's very reasonable for you to do this. At the very high end, usually it would be about $500, but it's usually between $200 and $300 to be able to help flesh, and kind of polish off your book. Step 6 is, instead of hiring an expensive editor, because editors will cost about $2,000 to completely, fully edit your book out, You can instead run your final book, meaning that it's already been fleshed and fluffed out by the professional. You can now take that copy, that Microsoft Word document, and you can run it through the software to make sure that everything is correct, like it's grammatically correct. You know, there's not any hiccups or hang-ups as far as, you know, any of the formatting and so forth. You make sure that everything is done, and that's going to be included in the cost of the software that you already have. So this will help you turn out a book a month doing it this way, because in order for you to gain the kind of numbers that you were looking at, you're looking at thinking in terms of a book a month, okay? Now, it's going to maybe take you a minute to get there. Your first book might take you 60 to 90 days to produce, just to get into the groove of how this whole thing works. But eventually, you want to get on that schedule of about a book a month. So you might start off with a book a quarter, and then a book every other month, and then finally you'll get on that schedule about a book a month. This is why this is a longer term play. This is a business building play. Remember what I talked about as far as legit businesses? Legit businesses take some time to build. And so this is why we're taking our time to build this, because it's not a get rich quick overnight scheme. It's an absolute, real, legit business that takes a little bit of time to build. You got to give yourself the patience to do that. So maybe now you're thinking, well, this seems really overwhelming. Like, where do I start? I don't know anything about AI. I'm not a tech person at all. Or maybe you have no idea how to publish books on Amazon. And so that's where the Fiction Profits Amazon Digital Business Blueprint comes in. Laura Pavlov, she now makes over $700,000 per month on Amazon just with Kindle alone, okay? And so she writes small town romance books, and she lives in Las Vegas. So you take a look at the numbers that she's pushing out here with her books. Absolutely amazing. And you know, she just stays very consistent with this. Like in the beginning, she was making, you know, a few thousand here and there. She just kept putting out more books, staying on a schedule, being very disciplined, very consistent. And she went from $0 to $700,000 a month on Kindle alone, okay? So this is one of her latest bestsellers right now. And it's number 5 on the bestseller list. You don't have to be number 1 or number 2 or within the top 20 even to make a lot of money in this business, all right? You don't even have to be on the bestseller list to make money in this business. But you just take a look at her number 5 bestseller right now. So Kindle alone, she's making about $65,000 per month just with this one book, and then $18,000 per month with Audible, and then of course paperback, which is $1,634. Now you'll notice that there's 3 book types that are there. 3 formatted book types. There's Kindle, there's Audible, which is under audiobook, and then there's paperback, okay? You want to always publish all 3. You don't want to just publish Kindle without Audible. You don't want to publish Kindle and paperback without Audible. You don't want to publish Kindle and Audible without paperback. You have to have all 3. So you never know the kind of format that your customer is going to want. You might find that there's a book that you publish that gets a lot of Kindle sales but very few Audible and paperback. But then all of a sudden on the flip side, you're going to notice that a couple of your books out of a dozen, for example, they're all of a sudden going to go wild on Audible. And so the vast majority of your sales will be on Audible instead of Kindle and paperback. And then every so often, there'll be a book that'll do really well with paperback for some weird reason. So you want to always have all 3. That should be your general rule. And the cool thing about using the KDP Select platform through Amazon Kindle, where you're going to be uploading all your books, is that Kindle is uploaded, and then immediately you can actually use their AI-based software for them to do the voiceover talent for you. This used to cost me about $2,000 to $3,000 to have somebody read the book that I would hire off of Fiverr or some other place like that. And nowadays, this is brand spanking new. This is part of their AI investment, is that once you upload your Kindle book, you can then select out of like a handful of voices to do the voiceover for your book. And it's an AI-based audio. So you just pick one of the ones that you like, and it instantly generates an audible file for your entire book, and it's free. Amazon offers that to you for free. Again, that's a brand spanking new offering that they have based on their $4 billion investment in AI. And then finally, you'll want to have the paperback version, which is just basically you can just have your professional that created your book cover, and you just basically upload that book cover into Amazon KDP Select after your Kindle is up, and then you basically do your paperback. They just guide you through the whole process. It's a very, very easy to do thing there. And so just for this one book in 1 month, she's over $86,000. So $86,000 for this one book. So let's just break down some of the financials here. So we look at the paperback as being a wash because there's very little sales due to, or very little, I guess you could say, profits for you because of the printing costs. And then there's Audible book, which is through acx.com. That's also done through the KDP Select system as well. And that will pay up to 40%. Kindle books will pay up to 65% roughly. So we'll assume for the case and intents and purposes of this presentation right here, that we'll assume that she's making about zero for the paperback because it's a complete wash. But for Audible, she's making $18,874 total, which is gross, but what she's going to get in her pocket as the author publisher is $7,549.60. For the Kindle book, on that $65,594, she's actually going to pocket $42,636.10. So total cash in her pocket just for this one book is $50,185.70. That's just for her one book that's currently right now sitting at number 75 on the Amazon paid bestseller list. So it just goes to show you just how powerful this can be. And again, this is why people do pay us a lot of money to be able to create some of these box sets for them. So then that way they can take the guesswork out. The good news is you don't even have to pay anywhere near that to be able to benefit, just like Laura has, with your own highly profitable Amazon digital book publishing business. So the reason we choose romance is because it's very, very profitable. Now, maybe you think that it's unattainable or overwhelming to make big money, but how about thinking about making an extra few hundred to an extra few $1,000s per month? Like, you don't have to talk about these tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, just like a lot of these other publishers are making. Maybe you just want to make a few hundred to a few thousand extra a month. But if you think about that, wouldn't that change your life? Like, wouldn't that take the heat off? Wouldn't that take the pressure off? Wouldn't that make you feel a little bit better and a little easier at night when you know that your bills are being taken care of? You're starting to get out of debt. You're not having to go deeper in the debt just to survive. Like, how about an extra few hundred to an extra few $1,000s extra per month? Like, would that change your life? And I would think, yes, it probably would. So take the top 100 paid Amazon Kindles that are on the Amazon bestseller list. So number 100, the very last, dead last one, is making estimated monthly revenue $15,453. And then this particular author chose not to do any Audible, which is a no-no, and any paperback, which is a no-no, which is why she's leaving money on the table. You should never do that. You should always publish Kindle, Audible, and paperback, all three always, okay? But she's dead last, and she's making $15,453 just by being number 100, but you don't even have to be on the bestseller list to make money. So take a look at this title here that's making a little over $7,000 per month, and it's not even on the list anywhere, okay? And by the way, you'll see that there's something missing at the bottom. Can you tell what it is? You can see that she's making $7,106 with Kindle. She's got a paperback book, but she has no Audible book. There's no audio book there, which again, she's leaving money on the table because that can increase her total profits by another 30 to 50% on top of that. So you always want to publish those three: Kindle, Audible, and paperback, okay? But this one ranks number $1,773 in the Kindle store, and it's still making over $7,000 per month. It's powerful stuff. So how is it possible to make this kind of money on these cheesy little books? And it's because there's low competition, and yet there's a huge insatiable demand and appetite for these hot-selling fiction books because there's such a huge fan base for romance, romantic suspense, and erotica books right now. So all you have to do to be successful with this is to stick with the 4-point fiction profits blueprint, just like I did, just like many of our other students, just like Laura did, where you can streamline your success in this business by taking you from zero to at least $10,000 to $20,000 per month within 1 year. But like I said, though, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not going into the business for, 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to, think you're going to be making a gazillion dollars. It's not going to work like that at all. It's going to take you time to build it. You have to think in terms of long term, between 6 months and 12 months to really gain some good traction. So if you're not going to be in this for the long haul, do not even start, because you're going to be disappointed. The way I look at it, though, is that 6 months to a year from now, you're still going to be 6 months to a year older than you are now. However, you might as well be on the track to being able to gain traction with a highly profitable business in 6 months to 12 months from now, rather than at net zero where you are now, or struggling your butt off to try to make a living. It's like, that's not going to change 6 months in a year from now if you do nothing about it. However, what can change is that you might have a very profitable business at the end of that 6 to 12 months, provided that you do stick with the 4-point fiction profits blueprint. So this has worked for hundreds of people just like you. It's worked for me. Take Katharina Mora. She makes over $228,000 per month on Amazon. You can see the totals right there, writing simple, short, and sweet romance novels. And so she's really, really on track, doing really well with this. Liz Tomford makes over $309,000 per month, writes sports romance, and she lives in Northern California. You can see some of her totals right there. Candy Steiner, she makes over $600,000 a month. She writes roller coaster romance novels living in Tampa, Florida. So this is possible for you, obviously, but it's not guaranteed. And it takes a while to get up to these numbers. Like, these ladies have been at this for years, right? So this is not a get rich quick overnight thing. It's consistency and discipline over and over again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Do a book, wash, rinse, repeat. Do a book, wash, rinse, repeat. You just keep repeating the process, and you want to kick out a new book every single month. And if you're consistent, you could potentially one day get to these numbers. However, what you're likely going to be looking at is, a couple hundred to an extra couple thousand per month, okay? So that's what you want to kind of think about. But it just shows you that the sky is the limit. Now, the reason these people are so successful is that they use a system that helps them turn out hot-selling books on a consistent schedule, treating this like a business. They're creating books that are each worth tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars per month per book, because they know what the high-end demand titles, they know what the high-end demand tropes and themes and genres and all of that is. So this is why it's critical that you don't go into the nonfiction publishing book, realm, because there's no money in that really. Or going into some kind of obscure kind of fiction, like aliens coming down and, probing people for parts for reproductive, some kind of story like that. Like, that kind of stuff doesn't make any money. So that's why we do the research first, to find out what's actually making money, and find the types of books that you want to emulate to make your own, so then that way you can publish books that are already in high demand. So Amazon's romance, there's a dirty little secret here. And a lot of people don't know this unless you are in the inside like I am, and you know how this business works. But the vast majority of these books are written by ghostwriters, or with the help of AI novel-based writing software programs. They're actually never written by the listed author, which is usually a pen name shown on the book cover. So it's like, for example, you'll be a movie producer, bringing in all the elements. Like, for example, a movie producer finds the director, finds the actors, kind of finds the location, has a script writer write the script. And so basically you'll be like a movie producer or a book producer, where you're pulling in all of these different aspects and all of this different talent to be able to create a book. And it's actually quite fun once you get into the groove of things. And so are you ready to discover how you can be one of these wealthy Amazon digital publishers? The answer better be yes, because if you got this far in the presentation, I'm 100% sure that you're probably interested in doing this, okay? So I'm going to share with you the exact 4-point fiction profits blueprint, the same one I used to create a 7-figure Amazon publishing business, all right? So you ready for this? Let's do this. So step number 1 is your publishing success setup. So basically you want to lay down your business framework. And so, for example, you're going to, hopefully, if you're open for it, we have our students start an S corporation in their home state. And so you want to start an S corporation, a C corporation, or an LLC, some kind of corporate entity in your own home state. So that's usually how you'd start off. In the interim, you want to find yourself a really good pen name. You never use your real name. especially if you were part of a certain kind of world like I was in the investing world, for example, where I don't want to put my real name on the book. So you find yourself a really good pen name. You're only going to use one pen name, by the way. And then you're going to create the right novel names, the right subtitles, the right covers, but it's all going to be based on what's already selling like hotcakes. And then you want to set up a publishing website and a lead magnet. So you want to get your subscribers, you want to start building a fan base before your first book even comes out. Now I go above and beyond this part, because if you just want to go for the gusto and you want to skip the whole getting subscribers and building the fan base, you could skip that whole part. You could just say, you know what, I'm going to publish a book within the next 30 days. I'm not even going to waste my time with the lead magnet. I'm not going to waste my time getting subscribers. I'm just going to pop the book out there and follow all the steps as far as marketing goes, the way Monica says, and just start ramping this up like hotcakes immediately. And if you want to do it that way, you can. And you could skip the whole lead magnet, getting subscribers, building raving fans before the book comes out. You could just go right in, jump right in, and start making money off your first book. So believe it or not, you can have your entire business groundwork set up in less than a week. We have a 5-day jumpstart roadmap that you can use to set up everything that you need to get your business started within only 5 days, believe it or not. The Fiction Profits Amazon Publishing Blueprint that I use, the same one that I use to make $150,000 a month in this business, is the same exact blueprint that hundreds of million-dollar Amazon publishers are using right now to make the money that they make. So in fact, we're going to show you within your first month of publishing exactly how to use our blueprint, so that very likely you'll start making between $300 and $500 within your first 30 days of publishing your book. Yes, it's that powerful. So step number 2 is to outsource for maximum leverage. So the way I did it was I had my first book written by a ghostwriter. I had it edited and recorded for Audible, which, by the way, this was before Amazon allowed you to be able to access the AI to create the Audible for you. So I did all of this within 30 days. It cost me under $2,000 to complete this part. This typically will cost about $5,000 or more, and that was back in the old days when I first got started. Like, we didn't have AI-based software to be able to write novels with. We didn't even have ChatGPT. We didn't have Amazon AI to be able to offer Audible for you. None of that existed. So I had to pay all of these costs for my first book. So all of this is really low budget now because of the online software platforms, because of Amazon being able to allow you to use their AI-based software to generate an Audible book. So the costs are like ridiculously lower than what I had to pay for my first book. But I outsourced everything. That's the key of step 2. Step 3 is to upload and launch the book. So for me, when I launched my first book, my first serious book, this included having a 250-word blurb, a professional cover, and a professionally done layout of the book. This was all done by other professionals, other people, not me, on a budget. And none of this collectively cost me more than $200 to have all of this done. So in the beginning, my very first book budget was about $2,200, which again is way more than what I would have had to pay today with all of the AI-based programs that are out there. So my first book generated $16,928 in its first 30 days of being live. And that's because of the powerful marketing that I was able to do, which is where the rubber meets the road. Like, you can understand and learn how to do all of the nuances when it comes to publishing a book, but if you don't understand the marketing part, it's kind of a waste of time to do the business, which is the part where we bring the most value into this business for you. So again, my total out-of-pocket investment was less than $2,200 for my first book. But say, for example, it cost me even double or triple that, I would have still made a lot more money just within the first 30 days. Even if it cost me $6,600 to produce this book, it would not have mattered because of the amount of money I was able to bring in just from the first 30 days of its release, all right? So I kind of showed you these numbers before just to show you kind of how I started from that first book. And then moving through there, that's starting within the first 30 days, and then what I was able to do after I was able to get the snowball effect going, okay, and this was by releasing only 1 book per quarter, because that's all I had the bandwidth to do at that time. That was 4 books a year within my first year. So it's highly probable that by the end of the first year, you'll realistically have between $10,000 and $20,000 in Amazon publishing revenue, only to quickly build it from there using the snowball effect. But like I said, it's only if you're willing to focus on 1 book per quarter to start. If you can do a book every other month in the beginning, that's even better. So step 4, you want to market to be able to make the 7 figures. So marketing is the key to making 7 figures in this business. So once my first book got started as far as generating revenue, I launched my second and third books within 5 months thereafter, getting the highly coveted snowball effect starting to trickle and starting to work. So the secret lies in writing, launching, and marketing more titles. And your goal is to launch a new title at least every 3 months in the beginning, and eventually one every month at some point in the near future. So Fiction Profits, the whole setup, the blueprint completely changed my life, because publishing fiction books was only a pipe dream for me. Like, I was always interested in writing, but it was a pipe dream for me before I fell into the world of Fiction Profits, which is my world. And so you'll see what happened in 2018, like my very first, very embarrassing stab at trying to publish books on Amazon. So this is a pen name that I use. I don't use it anymore. And the first, I guess, romance book that I put out there just to test the waters to see if this business can work, it actually was a book called Two Princes. This book did so poorly that I ended up unpublishing the book because it sucked so bad. The reviews were bad. I don't even think I made like $50 on this book. So I went from that to writing erotica novels under a pen name. Remember, I told you that I started to really think seriously about this in 2019, and my first full serious year doing this was 2020. And now I actually get to live the life I want on my terms, working only 20 hours per week doing what I love. I mean, this is a fun business. I absolutely love it. So meet my business partner. His name is Robert Blade Robinson, and he also does this as well. He averages about $37,000 per month in Amazon digital publishing cash flow. He was recently featured in Forbes magazine. And so, you know, I could just share with you, I can go on and share this with you for, you know, hours and hours. But what I'd like to do is just share with you how we can help you completely set up your entire digital Amazon publishing business in only 5 days. So you don't have to spend months and months trying to work all through the bugs and figure all the stuff out. You can literally set everything up in 5 days, which is less than a week, which is pretty powerful. So in your first 5 days, you'll be shown more about how to create a multi-million-dollar Amazon publishing business than what you'll find with many of these 2,000 plus mentorship groups that you're going to find on a lot of these Amazon guru publishing websites online. And on top of that, you know, they don't even really tell you much at the $2,000 level. So, you know, for example, this is one of them, Carla Marie, I think her name is. She sells a $2,000 online course. They also want 5% of your royalties. And then you have to pay another $10,000 on top of that for the good stuff and to work with them one-on-one. And the only thing that they're going to offer you is like Voxer or something to chat with them. You don't actually get any individualized attention at all at the $10,000 price point. Or the Mickelson twins. They sell you a $2,000 outdated course, and it talks about how to publish nonfiction books. Now, remember what I told you about nonfiction? There's like no money in nonfiction, right? And on top of that, you can't even publish Audible books by themselves anymore. They stopped doing that many, many years ago, a lot of years ago. And yet what they're teaching people to do is to publish Audible books without Kindle books. It's like you can't publish an Audible book without a Kindle book. It's just not even possible. They also have a very super expensive upsell as well. So that's who you're dealing with when you're trying to learn this information out there. I bumbled and stumbled through this business until I figured it out. And I can help you do the same so that you don't have to make the same kinds of mistakes that I did in the very beginning. I'm going to show you everything you need to know, give you all the resources that you need, even offer you one-on-one sessions up front without any additional cost. I'm not going to ask you to spend $10,000 to get a one-on-one session with me or my team. You can get that one-on-one session when you become part of the Fiction Profits world. So this makes the perfect opportunity for you to get into, even if you have zero hands-on experience with writing, creating stories, or having any publishing experience whatsoever. And this is exactly what these people did when they got started. So take Adriana Locke, makes just under $100,000 per month on Amazon, writes big family, small town romances. You can see the kind of money that she's making. She created the ultimate side hustle living in the Midwest, or Elle Steele. You know she's not one of my favorites, but she did learn the 4-point Fiction Profits blueprint. And that's how she learned to basically take other people's stuff and make it her own. And so she does really well by basically emulating other people's work. Or Melanie Harlow makes over $100,000 per month on Amazon. She writes sweet, sexy, feel-good romance and lives in Detroit. She's doing really well as well. Or Pippa Grant. makes approximately $200,000 per month on Amazon, writing very unique novels, and she's a stay-at-home mom. So she's doing really well as well, using the 4-point blueprint. Emily Rath makes under $500,000 per month, writes hockey romances, living the life of her dreams in Florida. So the sky's the limit as far as what you can make. And again, don't take my word for any of this. Verify all these details by going to katiebestsellers.com. That will give you the top 100 paid Amazon Kindle bestseller list. And then you want to get the software, katiekeywordtool.com. And once you download the software, you can actually see for yourself what all of these authors and publishers are making with their books, so that you can understand and learn what to emulate if you want to be successful in this business. So if these people can do it, so can you. But again, I'm going to remind you one more time that this requires discipline and consistency. This is not a get-rich-quick overnight scheme that takes about 6 months to a year to start seeing some significant results in this business. So if you're somebody that just signs up for something, wonders why you don't get rich in 5 days, this is not for you. In fact, there's no legitimate business that's out there for you. You're never going to find anything other than winning on a scratch off or winning the lottery that's going to make you money and get rich overnight. There's like literally no legitimate business out there that will do this. This is a legitimate business, which means it takes time to set up and takes time to build, okay? So as long as you understand that, I would like to share with you exactly how to become my next Amazon digital publishing success story. Would you like to learn more about that? Yes? All right, let's move forward. So fiction profits. I'm going to share with you exactly who this will work for. And that is somebody who's willing to follow through with all the instructions provided, somebody who makes no excuses and just does it, somebody who has a burning desire to make tens of thousands of dollars or more per month in net profits, not some lukewarm tire kicker, and somebody who understands that, again, this is not a get-rich-quick overnight scheme. It takes patience, persistence, and discipline with consistency to be able to build this business the right way. And if you fall into all of these categories, or at least one of these categories, then you are in luck, because likely this fiction profits business is for you. So here's how you can kickstart your successful business. It's with the 5-day Fiction Profits Jumpstart. This will show you how to build your entire business in only 5 days. So take, for example, Tina. She says, I set up my entire business in less than a week. I'm a fast learner and fast implementer. I was able to write, launch, and start profiting from my first book in less than 30 days, starting with the 5-day Jumpstart. So you can see she has 2 books right now, and she was able to make $1,322.49 from those 2 books in the most recent royalty statement screenshot that she shared with us. The next step is to complete your books. And so in our 6 Power Pack modules, you'll discover everything you need to know to build a profitable, thriving digital Amazon publishing business. And so take Abel. He went through all the steps and launched 3 books within 8 weeks, which is really overly ambitious, by the way. Most people don't do that. And in his first full month with all 3 books, he earned roughly $1,000 per book. This is just the beginning, okay? And so here's what else you'll get, the advanced strategies. This is where the rubber meets the road with all of the marketing stuff. It's all the marketing that will make you the money in your book sales. So yes, you do need to have a really good book, and yes, you need to understand how to publish the book, but if you don't understand how to market the book, you're probably not going to make any money. So Ben is a traveling salesman, and he's got a goal to ramp up his digital publishing business to the point where he can quit his job and do this full time once he hits his $12,000 per month, which he hasn't hit yet. But he's constantly checking his stats and working on his marketing, even in his car. So that's one of the latest royalty statement screenshots that he shared with us. So here's what you're going to be getting: the 5-day Jumpstart, the Fiction Profits, Advanced Fiction Profits, which is where all the marketing components come in, your special bonus, which is the brand new Fiction Profits 2.0, and access to the best novel writing based AI software out there. All right. So you're going to get some more incredible bonuses. Here's what else you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting the top selling tropes and themes, which do change every so often, by the way, including the outline formula for all your books, all the course materials, including the ghostwriter agreement, and that includes the person who's going to be fleshing out your book as well. Publishing business flowchart to keep you on track and profitable, the secret resource to get instant rave reviews to review your books and drive extra sales to your books, because it's all about the reviews, man. The core marketing secret to go from 0 to 10,000 in 30 days. That's within your first 30 days of actually starting the process of publishing. And the total value is priceless, okay? So for those of you that take fast action, I have something absolutely amazing for you, and that is a one-on-one session with me personally to help you find a pen name and plan your first book series, okay? So I'm not going to ask you to spend an extra $10,000 to do Voxer with me, which is a text software. I'm actually going to do a one-on-one session with you and me personally, one-on-one, to help you find a pen name and plan your first book series. This is powerful, powerful stuff. But it is a full paid fast action bonus. So TJ, his real name is Tyler. He had no idea how to start his business. He was confused about which pen name to choose because he's a dude. He didn't know. He doesn't read romance. And how to go about creating a story that would sell. This one-on-one session with me, it was absolutely integral to his success, and we was able to help him map out his first 3-book series over the phone. And these 3 books, since the beginning of when he first seriously got started publishing them, $6,203. So pretty good for 3 books. He just needs to keep going. So another special bonus, weekly trainings, one-on-one call sessions, additional course module trainings, and any upgrades that we have. You get all of that for life. There's no other payments, no other money, no other upsells, no other nothing. You are a lifetime member. And this is a full pay fast action bonus as well. And you get a quick cash bonus. Building an Amazon business takes time, but there's a profitable side hustle you could do for quick money now. This is what I call the double prong profit opportunity, where I could train you on exactly how to do this little side hustle business so that you could start making money right away while you're waiting the 6 to 12 months to build up your Amazon publishing empire. And so this is also a full pay fast action bonus. So you can see why I could easily sell this entire thing for $4,997, but then I realized that I wanted to make you an offer you absolutely cannot refuse. And there's my face on the Godfather's head there. And so here's what you're going to be getting. Let's talk about everything you're going to be getting. The 5-day Fiction Profits Jumpstart, Fiction Profits for Beginners, the Advanced Fiction Profits, which is the marketing components, Fiction Profits 2.0, access to the best novel writing AI software platform, special bonus one-on-one call with me and my team. That's to help you pick out your pen name and your first box series. We're going to plan all that out for you. Additional special bonus, lifetime access to weekly trainings, additional one-on-one call sessions, course module additions and upgrades, quick cash bonus, the quick money-making side hustle training, so you can start making money right away until you build up your Amazon digital publishing business. Top-selling tropes and themes, including the outline formula for all your books. All the course materials, including the ghostwriter agreement, which you can also use for the person who's going to be polishing your book as well. Publishing business flowchart to keep you on track and profitable. The secret resource to getting instant reviews to drive your book sales. The core marketing secret to go from 0 to 10,000 in 30 days, all right? Total value, as you know, is priceless. You can get all this now for just $1,997 today, or you can take a payment plan of $7.99 each. So that's 3 months at $7.99 each. You can sign up right now, fictionprofits.com, or you can scan that little barcode off to the right, the QR code. And so, again, we want you to be successful. We want you to be profitable, but we don't want to break your bank either, which is why we're offering these highly affordable payments right now. But you can always call our office. Yes, mind-blowing. We actually have an office that you can call. I will give you the number at the very end. But if you need an extra special payment plan, I'll be more than happy to break it down even further if you really want to do this. If you really want to do this, we can work with you on the payment plan if you really need an extra hand as far as getting that set up. So, ironclad money back guarantee. If after receiving this system and giving it a test drive, an honest test drive, and completing the components that you decided isn't for you, simply call us. There's our phone number right there, 850-588-5500, or email us at support@globalsuccessforlife.com. You can request a full refund. We will issue a no questions asked refund immediately upon request, provided that you are willing to give this an honest try for at least set 90 days. Because remember, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You need to put some time and effort in to go through all the modules and to really focus on it. But we will give you a full money-back guarantee up to 365 days. Yes, 1 year from the day that you come in. So you come in today, you have basically a year to give this a full test drive. And so, listen, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If you are one of these people that signs up for something and then 5 minutes later you want a refund, or you think that you're going to be doing this for 2 weeks and you realize that you didn't get rich yet in 2 weeks, so you want a refund, don't sign up. You're going to be wasting my time, wasting my resources, because I'm going to have to get on the phone with you and help you with your pen name and all that. My time is valuable, okay? So I don't want to be getting on the phone with somebody who's a tire kicker or somebody who's just not serious. So if you're one of these people who you know damn well who you are, where you sign up for stuff and you just never follow through, or you sign up for stuff and you want a refund like 5 minutes later, don't sign up, please. It's just going to waste the time of the people that really want to come into this group who are really serious about this business, all right? So only sign up if you really want to give this an honest try. So here's $1,000. We want to pay you $1,000. So remember all of the screenshots of people that have given us a screenshot of how much they've made in certain specified time frames, and you're going to be able to see some of the video testimonials too at the very end of this. So we want to pay you $1,000. So within your first year, all you have to do is this: publish your first book, start earning some Amazon income. I don't care how small it is. You want to send us your income screenshots from Amazon, plus give us a video testimonial, and we will give you $1,000. All right. And so basically we give you half of your enrollment fee back just by simply following the steps and doing the business, right? So that's how I was able to get all those little screenshots of everybody's royalty statements, and how I was able to get the videos that you're going to be seeing in a moment. And so, you know, you'll be the next person. And again, I don't care if you make, you know, $300, $400, $500. I want the screenshot, and I want a video of what your experience was in the Fiction Profits group, and then I'll gladly pay you $1,000. And you have a year, you have a full year to be able to make that happen, all right? So the real question is it worth gambling a few weeks of your time to go through all the modules and check it all out and to build your business? I mean, even if you think about it, even if it does only half of what some of those really decent earners were making, or even 10% of what some of those people were making, wouldn't it be worth it to do this and try it to see how far you can get with this business? Wouldn't it be worth it to just be able to build this ultimate financial freedom for yourself? Wouldn't it pay for itself in just less than a few months? I think it would, especially since I'll be giving you $1,000 back the very moment that you give me some of your screenshots and your royalty statements and furnish a video for me. You'll be getting half that money back anyway. So it's going to diminish your enrollment cost right then and there. So you can get started right now at fictionprofits.com. There's no www, just type in fictionprofits.com in your screen, in your browser, and then get right there and enroll right now. So there's the tale of two people. There's somebody who just sits on the sidelines, wanting, wishing, hoping for some kind of opportunity, sitting there for another week, another month, another year, deciding to do nothing. A decade goes by, still sitting there and getting absolutely nowhere because they're making no orchestrated changes in their life. Or there's somebody who just goes for it and then decides to do something. They get off the bench, they say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to try it and see what happens. And then those are the people that get the life that they've always wanted. Because if you sit there and speculate, if you sit there and think, what if you sit there and think, I don't know, or can I really make this work, or I'll think about it, then you're just going to be exactly where you are now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You're never going to move off the bench. You're never going to get the life that you want. In fact, if anything, your life is going to be worse, because you're not going to be able to sustain yourself as far as hyperinflation and all the high sky-rise costs that are going on. You're not going to be able to sustain yourself long term if you just stay status quo as you are now. You're just not going to make it. So you almost are forced off the bench at this point, because the economy is getting really dicey, and it's only going to be a matter of time when things fall apart for a lot of people. Because I hate to break it to you, the economy is not as good as you might think. It's literally like an airplane that's about to explode in the air. And some people are already seeing it with hyperinflation, hyper explosive food costs of utilities, everything that's gone up, and it's just harder and harder to be able to make your monthly income stretch even more and more and more without taking on another job or collecting cans or selling stuff on eBay or whatever you can do to stay afloat. But that's just a temporary band-aid, because if you're not doing something to create a successful long-term side hustle business now, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Because doing nothing is not an option, and hoping that everything's going to be okay is also not an option. because everybody in this country who is not taking concerted action to do something about their financial future is going to be facing some really hard realities. Right now, you might have the option and the opportunity to be able to say, hey, I could take advantage of this opportunity today, but that might not be the case a year from now, when you're having to work 2 and 3 jobs and you're simply not going to even have time to do the 30 minutes a day that this business requires for you to really fully get it all booted off the ground. So you don't want to be in the situation where it's too late. So you can find the side hustle, the ultimate side hustle like this one, and prosper like you've never prospered before, but there's literally no in between. There's no just, I'll be okay, I'll just keep my job and just keep ticking along. That's no longer an option anymore, because the amount of money you're making today is not going to, it's not going to allow you to sustain yourself in the months and years to come. It's just not. That's just a reality. So do me a favor. If you don't give this a shot, you don't want to do this fiction profits business, maybe it's not your thing, maybe you're not sure, whatever the case may be, do me a promise right now, and that is that you'll keep looking until you find a solid money-making business or opportunity that resonates with you. Because maybe this doesn't resonate with you for whatever reason, or maybe, you know, you want to think about it or you're just not ready. Then do me a favor and look for something that does resonate with you, because the trajectory that you're on right now is not sustainable. I think we both know that. And if it was, you would not be watching this presentation, at least this far into it. Because the last thing I want to do is see you with, you know, up a creek without a paddle, because it's coming, and it's coming quicker than you think. So here's what you're going to be getting. Again, the 5-day Fiction Profits Jumpstart, the Fiction Profits for Beginners, Advanced Fiction Profits for the marketing component, Fiction Profits 2.0, access to the best novel writing AI-based software, the special bonus one-on-one call with me and my team, additional special bonus, lifetime access to weekly trainings, additional one-on-one call sessions, course module additions and upgrades, quick cash bonus, the ultimate quick money hustle, side hustle training, where you can start making quick money with this one little known side hustle. I guess you could say side hustle of the side hustle, if you will. The top selling tropes and themes, including the outline formula for all your books, all the course materials, including the ghostwriter agreement that you're gonna need also for the person who polishes your book. Publishing business flowchart to keep you on track and profitable. The secret resource to get instant reviews to drive your book sales, because you need about 30 to 50 reviews to really start seeing your sales take off. The core marketing secret to go from 0 to 10,000 in 30 days. The value is priceless for all of this. You can get it now today, $1,997, or you can get started by scanning that QR code right there in the upper right-hand corner, or you can take 3 monthly payments of $7.99 each, and you can sign up at fictionprofits.com. All right. So it's amazing how people will squirm over investing in a viable, sustainable, long-term profitable business, but they actually don't bat an eyelash over getting into deep debt for a college degree. The low cost of a lifetime with Fiction Profits, like literally you will get a lifetime with us, is less money than what your books would cost for your first semester at a 4-year university. Think about that. If you're thinking about, oh, this is so much money, think about how much your books would cost for your first semester at a 4-year university, and then think about how cheap this is to be able to build a viable, highly profitable, it's a legitimate business. And again, getting a lifetime access to Fiction Profits, it's like literally priceless. So a lot of people don't know this, but I actually do have 2 degrees, and I spent well over $100,000 to get both my BS. I have a BS in business and entrepreneurship and an MFA degree in screenwriting, believe it or not. It's a creative writing degree. Neither of these have made me money. Neither of them made me a single cent in the real world of making money. I just got the degrees just to be able to say I got 2 degrees, but that's the only reason, quite honestly, that I have 2 degrees. So I know how much it costs to go to school. And it's not cheap. So if you didn't sign up immediately, reason number 1, maybe you're just not ready to invest in yourself. Maybe you just don't want a better future. Maybe you don't believe things are getting worse. Maybe you'd rather spin your wheels for years trying to figure this out on your own with some free content on YouTube or some low budget books that you buy on Amazon about Amazon publishing. I don't know. Or maybe the second reason is that you don't believe that you yourself are capable, or you yourself deserve to have a highly profitable digital publishing business worth at least $10,000 to $20,000 per month. And you just don't think it's possible for you. Or maybe you just don't need or want this kind of money. Now, I find that to be hard to believe because you're still watching this presentation. It must mean that you're looking for something better, okay? So I'm really not that special. Here I am standing in front of my house in Markham, Illinois, where I grew up in the greater Chicago area. And so I decided to visit. I was there at a marketing conference years ago, and I decided to take a picture in front of my childhood house there. And I can tell you, I'm nothing special, man. I'm just a Midwest girl who's not that good at math, not that good at English, didn't do very well in school. I suck at communicating with people. I can't really sell my way out of a paper bag, quite honestly, but I made millions of dollars in this very unique digital publishing business, and you can too. All right. So how am I able to do this? Because I've been in the business of business and writing and marketing for over 30 years. I've been in publishing on Amazon since my very humble beginnings, which I shared with you in 2012. I continue to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on finite trainings and ongoing education, and I'm constantly staying up to date with the current trends, especially when it comes to publishing, on what's going on, what's selling, and what's making money. So wouldn't it be much easier for you to just simply piggyback off of my experience and my success to have me personally help you set up your business? I would say yes. It's definitely much easier because it definitely sucks to reinvent the wheel. It's a huge waste of time to try to do this by yourself. And you might be thinking that you're saving money on the front end, but really you're adding years and years and years of a crash course education that you're trying to give to yourself by falling into literally every pitfall. And what ends up happening when people want to do the low budget way, meaning that they want to go to YouTube and get free content, or they want to go over into Amazon and get a $10 book on Amazon Publishing. And what they do is they add years and years onto their success to the point where many of them never actually end up successful in the business because they fall into every pitfall. I've already fell into every pitfall. I've already gone through the gamut of every single downfall in this business you could possibly think of, and I can save you all of that time, meaning that even though it's a couple grand to get involved in Fiction Profits, you are literally saving yourself a learning curve of 5 years or longer to try to figure this out on your own with free content or low budget content. I'm just telling you, it's just a huge waste of time to do it that way. Trust me, I've been there, done that. So to jump on board, you want to do it while you still can. 5-day Fiction Profits Jumpstart, Fiction Profits for Beginners, Advanced Fiction Profits for all your marketing component secrets. Fiction Profits 2.0, access to the best novel writing AI-based software. Best special bonus, your one-on-one phone call with me and my team to help you work out your pen name as well as your first box set. You want to talk about the actual deals of your very first writing project, your very first publishing project. Additional special bonus, lifetime access to weekly trainings, additional one-on-one call sessions, course module additions and upgrades. Also, a quick cash bonus to make quick money on a little-known side hustle business. Top-selling tropes and themes, including the outline formula for all your books. All the course materials, including the ghostwriter agreement that you're going to need for the person who polishes your book for you. Publishing business flowchart to keep you on track and profitable. The secret resource to getting instant reviews to drive your book sales. The core marketing secret to go from $0 to $10,000 in 30 days or less. So priceless value. So you want to get started now for one-time payment of only $1,997 for a lifetime of access, or you can do 3 monthly payments of $799 each. If you have any questions or you need a better payment plan, or you just want to know if this is legit or if we actually have a legit office, you can go ahead and call us at 850-588-5500 through to normal business hours. We are available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. So that's that. I mean, if you want to talk to us about anything, you have any questions about anything in particular, we are here to serve you. Or at the very least, maybe you just want a better payment plan. You can sign up here at fictionprofits.com. Do not put the www in there, just fictionprofits.com in your internet browser, and you will get right there. Or you can scan the QR code off to the right, okay? So again, you're going to be getting all the stuff. I've already gone through it all already. You want to go to fictionprofits.com right now to get yourself ready, registered, and started into the program. And you want to invest in your future and invest in your success. So I strongly urge you to go to fictionprofits.com right now or call our office at 850-588-5500 and we can get you registered in immediately. All right. So again, you just want to make sure that you can get into this because I've had programs before in the past, like offerings that I do that I only have for a limited time because my time can only be stretched so far. I got into this business for the ultimate financial freedom element. And even though I enjoy talking to you guys and gals a lot, I can only take on a certain number of people that want to do one-on-one sessions with me. And then I have to pull the opportunity because realistically, I only have so many hours in the day. So it's only going to be a matter of time before I pull this offer down because of the amount of time that I have available for you to do one-on-one calls, to help you choose your pen name, to help you get your first 3 series box set situated. So I don't want to offer this forever because I literally can't because of the time constraints that I have. So what I strongly suggest that you do is that you sign up right now while you still can, because I realistically cannot allow you to have this opportunity forever, just due to the fact that I am offering myself in the one-on-one phone consulting session for you, okay? And that's why I'm not able to offer this forever. So go ahead and sign up right now while you still can. Again, if you have any questions, you could always call our office, 850-588-5500. We're available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time, excluding federal holidays. And so if we are not there, just simply leave a message and we will call you back as soon as we can, all right? So if you have any questions, just go ahead and call us. In the meantime, you should already be signing up, because once you sign up, you will have immediate access into the program so that you can start your 5-day jump start immediately today. And so you can start building your Amazon publishing business right now, the very moment you sign up online. But you have to sign up online for that, which is at fictionprofits.com, all right? All right, everybody. So I have some amazing testimonials to show to you. But in the interim, this is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you at the top.
I've been able to go from $0 to 22K in 8 months, and I do this only about an hour a day, and this completely changed my life, as you can imagine. The game changer for me was being able to use AI to help me turn out more books much faster. Without AI, I don't think I'd be able to do this business or to succeed as I have. So just a shout out. Thanks for everything, and I'm looking forward to doubling my income in the next 4 or 5 months. None of this would have been possible without you.
And I was amazed at the possibilities of starting a small business and building it up to something that I could be proud of, a side hustle that's earning a steady monthly income for me every day. Once you set it up right from the beginning, it's something you can pretty much automate. And that's the part I like best about it, is the automation and using AI. But the training will show you how it all works. So I recommend you start watching it right away, like right now. Do not wait another second.
All you do is follow the blueprint and that's it. You do that, then this will work for you. You can tell that I don't speak perfect English, yet I've made this business successfully work for me. I've been doing this for almost 10 months now, and I'm earning more now than what I was making at my job.
Monica and her team changed my life. No BS. The program was simple to follow and execute. Honestly, I like that I didn't have to know anything about tech. I didn't need any tech skills, and all I had to do was just follow the order of things. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Very simple and easy peasy.
The Fiction Profits formula works like gangbusters, but it only works when you work, if that makes sense. For me, all I did was follow the steps. They're not hard. I just put one foot in front of the other, and it changed my life. The future now for me is like a great wide open. The future is so bright, I gotta wear shades. I know that's super corny, but that's how I feel right now. I'm just so excited to finally have found something that works. I've bought into so much crap over the years that I'm grateful that I just kept on grinding and found something that truly works. And it is the world's most perfect business. Needless to say, I am a believer and a fan for life.
I don't know if you noticed, but the economy is changing, and not for the better. With artificial intelligence taking over jobs left and right, I realized that it's going to be next to impossible to stay ahead of the curve without making any radical changes. So I started doing research to find things that allow me to use AI as leverage, leading me to this business, which has been a total game changer. Thank you.
When I first saw the training, I started doing research to see if any of this was legit. I mean, they tell you like it is, everything you need to know. So when I started looking deeper into it, I realized that this opportunity is a freaking goldmine, and I was just shocked, blown away. Needless to say, there's nothing else out there like it, and you'd be a fool not to at least check it out because it can change everything for you. Absolutely everything.
I've been able to go from zero to making a couple extra $1,000 per month in less than 6 months. This is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme, rather a business that I'm building slowly over time, and I have the confidence that I'll be able to double and triple my income as time goes on in the months to come.
This is the real deal. If you haven't done it yet, ask yourself, what the hell are you waiting for? Seriously, yeah, I get that you're scared. We all been scammed before with crap that doesn't work, but I'm here to tell you this is the real deal. Fiction Profits, the Success for Life team, all legit across the board. So pull the trigger already. If you don't, how are you gonna know if it will work or not? If you do take the leap like I did, you will realize sooner or later that this is the best thing you've ever done.
I never knew this business existed. I knew about the apps, but I didn't know that people like me could do this, and honestly, it is incredible. So the training showed me exactly what the business is and how to build it from scratch. And it's honestly so perfect for me because I am not tech savvy at all. I am just not that tech person. So what I really like about this business is that all I need to do is follow the steps exactly to reach my income goals, and that's it. Look, this is the perfect business for anyone who wants to make some extra income. Maybe a few extra $100 here and there, maybe a couple thousand or more. Doing something fun part-time from your laptop. And if that describes what you want, like me, then this is something you should look into because I believe it will be the best decision you'll ever make. So I started off following the blueprint. And it took me a few months to go through the training because of work, but I found that I had to carve out blocks of time and make it a priority. When I finally did that, I really started gaining traction pretty quickly, and I was able to write and publish my first book within 6 weeks. The income was slow going at first, I have to admit, but I stuck with the plan and consistently published a book every 6 weeks. And here we are, 9 months later, and I've completed 5 books, one which I just launched yesterday. And my first book is earning an average of $1,700 per month. The other books are newer, but last month I hit around $4,500. And I'm really encouraged to keep producing more books because I know over time the snowball effect will start to kick in the more books I publish. Yeah. But I just wanted to say this really changed my life, and I think it can change your life too if you let it. But you can't be lazy. You can't think that this is some kind of set it and forget it system, because it's not. You have to roll up your sleeves, follow the steps, and do the work. So if you're willing to do that, even if all you can do is put in a couple of hours a week to start, that's enough to kickstart your business. It's all about consistency and aiming to publish at least a book a month. And I know that seems like a lot, and honestly it was for me too. It took me about 3 months to publish my first book. But once I got into the groove of consistently publishing a book every 3 months for my first 9 months, I was then able to start publishing every other month, and now I'm at a book a month. AI makes it so much easier to produce books on this kind of schedule, and I no longer have to pay ghostwriters. I can create books on demand with a budget-friendly AI software, which has made my life amazingly easy and profitable too. If I can do this, you can too.
I've heard of royalties, earning passive income from intellectual property, but I always thought that was for musicians, TV show actors, and book authors. I didn't know that someone like me, a no-name with no talent whatsoever, could tap into any kind of royalty income until I learned about this particular opportunity. Now, this amazing opportunity, creating books for the biggest online bookstore on the planet, Amazon, without writing any books, but by hiring ghostwriters. For me personally, I like using the AI platforms to have books written for me without having to pay an expensive writer and wait weeks to get a book written. AI has made cutting-edge breakthroughs, and who knew you could write a whole book using cheap AI software? I mean, I didn't know until I started exploring it myself. I always considered myself to be a creative person. I can think of some intense story ideas, and now I can put all that into a book and make money with it, even though I don't know how to write. I don't even like writing. I can now create profitable books based on my story ideas without actually writing the book. I mean, who knew such an opportunity existed?
Hey, listen up. You want to take this training, my friend. It'll open your eyes to something that's out of this world. Something that's crazy profitable that maybe you've never heard of before. Maybe it's something you have heard of and think you know a little bit about, but you just don't know how to execute to create an income stream from it yet. Because this is definitely a side business that can help you pivot from where you are now to where you want to be.
I didn't think this would have a chance in hell and working, and then it did, and I can attest to that. If you follow this program and follow the instructions exactly as they're laid out, you will find success with this. This is life-changing stuff. Don't pass this up. You will regret it.
It took me a year, but this past month, I finally reached my goal of earning $8,000. In a couple of months, I'm aiming to increase that to $10,000 when I publish my new book. I love how simple this business is, and I never want to do anything else.